Bathroom Breaks and Bedtime Tales presents The Wake, The Will, and a Well-Deserved Martini by Sevastian Winters. 1. The Death Notice. They killed me on a Tuesday. Well, technically, I died on a Tuesday. That's what the paper says. Edna Mae Bontrager, 82, beloved matriarch, passed peacefully in her sleep. Peacefully, my ass. I took 2 Benadryl and a shot of peppermint schnapps and laid real still until my dumb-ass niece, Trina, started screaming like she found Jesus in the laundry hamper. I planned the whole thing, wrote the obituary myself, even picked the photo, me in my church hat, looking like I just told God his sermon was too long. You fake your death once, you do it right. And I was beloved, goddammit, until they smelled money. Now, I don't know if you've ever watched your family mourn you from the attic, but it's a special kind of therapy. They didn't cry. They sniffled strategically, like they were auditioning for A Rich Widow, the series. My oldest, Martin, was already Googling how to liquidate an estate without alerting the IRS. And my granddaughter? Shit, she brought a tape measure to my closet, said she was just helping. Helping my ass. You know who helps? Nurses, firemen, not the chick stealing my orthopedic heels like they're fucking Louboutins. The only one who looked sad for real was my dog Lucky, and he don't even have tear ducts. But that's fine. Let 'em think I'm dead. Let 'em circle like hyenas around a diabetic zebra. Because this ain't a funeral. It's a trap. I got receipts. I got rage. And I got one hell of a clause in that will. Now pass the damn popcorn. The wake's about to start. 2. The Vulture's Circle. The wake was scheduled for 11 a.m., but by 10:17, my living room looked like a fucking episode of Storage Wars. My middle son, Kenny, the one who still calls me Mommy, even though he's 53 and owes back child support in 2 states, was already arguing with his sister over who got the flat screen. Not a flat screen, my flat screen. The one I still had the goddamn remote for upstairs in the attic. I'm the eldest, he said, puffed up like a busted sofa cushion. She promised me the TV if she died. Promise? Boy, I promised you a GED and a slap upside the head. Got neither. The tape measure granddaughter walked through the house like she was on House Hunter's Inheritance Edition, talking about open concept and resale potential, as if she didn't grow up using a chamber pot when the pipes froze. She pulled my curtains down, said the fabric was vintage. It's polyester, baby. You can't vintage your way out of being tacky. Meanwhile, my other grandson, Micah, sweet, stoned, probably thinks Pluto's still a planet, stood in the kitchen eating leftover funeral casserole straight from the tray, like grief came with carbs. I just feel like her spirit is still here, you know, he said, mouth full of ham and disrespect. It was delicious watching them all perform sadness like a low-budget community theater production. Martin tried to look solemn in my recliner, my chair, with his feet up like the king of Medicaid. He even muttered, "She's in a better place now. Bitch, I'm in the attic." And then came the lawyer. Skinny man in a funeral suit, so tight he looked like a tax return with legs, sweating like someone replaced his blood with mayonnaise. He cleared his throat and opened the folder. "The will shall be read after the wake," he said. And I swear, every head in the room swiveled like fucking vultures spotting a fresh corpse, which, to be fair, is what they thought they were dealing with. They don't know what's coming. They don't know about the claws. They don't know Granny's got one more resurrection left in her, and it's gonna be loud. 3. Wake and bake. The thing about crashing your own wake is timing. You can't do it too early or you ruin the build-up. Gotta let the lies marinate. Let them pass around bullshit like it's communion. She always said I was her favorite, Trina sniffled, dabbing fake tears with a silk scarf she definitely shoplifted from my dresser. She once told me I had her spirit. Sweetheart, if you got my spirit, then I want a goddamn refund. Martin got up next like he was accepting an Oscar. Mama was a woman of faith, family, and fried chicken. You ungrateful bastard. I saw you toss my chicken in the trash at the 4th of July picnic. Said it was too seasoned. You were 6 and racist already. And then Kenny, my baby, my 53-year-old man-child with the emotional range of a pothole. He started singing. Not a hymn, not something classy. Wind beneath my wings. Baby, I nearly fell through the attic floor. Right then, the lawyer coughed. He looked like he wanted to unzip himself and flee his own skin. "Before we proceed with the formal reading of the will," he said, trembling, "we have a video message." That's right, bitches. The screen flickered. There I was, recorded in my favorite leopard print robe, hair rollers in, holding a glass of Chardonnay like it owed me money. If you're watching this, it means I'm either dead or I'm bored enough to pretend. Either way, welcome to the wake. Some of you look terrible. Kenny, fix your collar. You look like a rodeo clown. I paused in the video, took a long sip. I'm not here to comfort you. I'm here to see which one of you vultures tried to steal my ceramic frog collection and pawn it off as mid-century lawn kitsch. Gasps, shuffling. Trina turned 3 shades of guilt. And just so we're clear, this will isn't a free-for-all. There is a clause, a very specific, legally binding clause. And before any of you gets a damn dime, there's one more thing you need to do. Right on cue, the front door blew open, and there I stood, alive, in a short leopard print nightie that fit like an oversized muumuu, sunglasses indoors, and holding a goddamn martini like James Bond just retired in Boca. Surprise, motherfuckers! Micah dropped his casserole. Trina screamed like she saw a ghost. Martin pissed a little. I saw the spot. And I smiled. Let's read the goddamn will. 4. The Resurrection Clause. I didn't sit. I perched, right on the arm of my own recliner, like a crow with receipts. Y'all can close your mouths now, I said, swirling my martini. You'll catch more lies. Nobody moved. Kenny looked like he saw the Virgin Mary flash him. Trina backed into the china cabinet like I was a poltergeist sent to repossess her sins. Even the lawyer stared at me like I just reversed gravity. But, he stammered, I pronounced you legally. Oh, shut the fuck up, Darren. He flinched. Yeah, I knew his name. Just because I faked my death doesn't mean I stopped reading LinkedIn. I turned to the crowd, my beloved family, my bloodline of bottom feeders. You wanted to bury me? Good, now you're gonna dig. They blinked, confused. Martin opened his mouth, but I cut him off with a raised finger. The will stands. The clause is real. And if you want anything, money, house, jewelry, even my goddamn spice rack, you're gonna follow instructions. I pulled a crumpled envelope from my bra like a magician who fucks with people for fun. Handed it to Darren. Read it, I said. He opened it like it might bite him. Clause 13, he read. The Resurrection Clause. In the event that I, Edna Mae Bontrager, return from the presumed dead, the following conditions shall apply. They leaned in like a bunch of perverts watching a slow striptease. All beneficiaries must locate and unearth the time capsule I buried on October 12, 1974, in the backyard of this property. Said capsule contains a cassette tape and several personal items. Instructions will be provided within. Completion of the tasks enclosed therein is required prior to inheritance distribution. Dead silence until Micah raised his hand. Like, do we need a cassette player? Micah, I swear to Christ, if you don't go find a shovel, I will actually die this time, just so I can haunt your dumb ass full time. He nodded. Cool, just asking. Kenny stood up, hands on hips, like he was about to call the manager of death itself. Mama, this is insane. You can't just come back from the dead and start giving orders. I sipped. Bitch, I never stopped giving orders. Y'all just stopped listening. And with that, I kicked off my heels and pointed toward the yard. Start digging, assholes. Let's see who really wants to earn this resurrection. 5. The dig and the dirt. The backyard looked like a meth-addled treasure hunt. Trina had on gardening gloves, my gardening gloves, and was stabbing the dirt like it owed her alimony. Martin tried to supervise with a clipboard he found in the garage, claiming project management experience. Kenny had a metal detector, which he didn't know how to use and definitely stole from a child at a flea market. Micah, bless him, was using a soup ladle. Said it had good vibes. I sat on the porch in a lawn chair, margarita in hand, sun hat on like it was Judgment Day and I was God with a hangover. Lucky the dog lay beside me, farting rhythmically like a jazz drummer. After 2 hours, Martin hit something solid. "I got it," he yelled, like he'd cured cancer. They yanked it out together. A rusted metal ammo box, spray-painted purple and duct taped to hell. On top, my handwriting in Sharpie. "Open me, bitches." They circled like it was a live grenade. Finally, Trina cracked the tape and lifted the lid. Inside they found a dusty cassette tape labeled Granny's Greatest Hits and Truth Bombs, a folded note, and a Ziploc baggie with old photos, a charm bracelet, and a tiny ceramic penis I made in art class during the Nixon years. They stared at it like it was cursed. Micah blinked. "This is beautiful." "It's a dick, Micah," I called. "Don't make it sentimental." Trina unfolded the note, cleared her throat. "Congratulations, grave robbers! You found the box. Now, here's the game. 1. Listen to the tape. 2. Do what it says. 3. Keep your mouths shut and your hands clean, or I go full scorched earth in probate court." Kenny, ever the brave idiot, held up the tape. "Where the hell do we even play this thing?" I tossed a boombox from the porch like it was a wedding bouquet. It hit the ground with a crunch. "Use this. Don't break it. It's older than your morals." They slid in the tape, hit play. My voice crackled to life, full of whiskey and vengeance. "Hello, sinners. Welcome to Granny's game show. You want your inheritance? Complete these challenges." "Martin, admit what you did to the neighbor's mailbox in '98. "Trina, reveal what you pawned of mine last July. "Kenny, tell your children where you really were every second weekend. "Micah, baby, you're fine. Just bake me some of those brownies again." Micah fist pumped. "Fuck yeah!" I leaned back and grinned as they started sweating harder than a preacher in a strip club. Because what they didn't know, what they still didn't know, was that I recorded 2 endings to that tape. One for redemption and one for detonation. They had until sundown to prove they were worth more than my tasket cost, and that shit wasn't cheap. 6. Who deserves it? Martin cracked first. Pussy didn't take much. He stood in the center of the yard, collar wilted, face red, like he just failed a polygraph at a family barbecue. "Fine," he snapped. "I hit the mailbox. I was drunk, okay? I was drunk and I thought it was a goddamn raccoon. I panicked and I blamed the paper boy. You happy now?" Lucky barked once, probably in judgment. I sipped my margarita. Real big of you, son. Still mad you made that kid cry for a week. Trina was next. She tried to finesse it, of course, turn it into a TED Talk. Steepled her fingers like a villain. What I borrowed last summer was sentimental. I didn't pawn it. I relocated it for safekeeping, emotionally.
Trina.
Fine. I pawned your engagement ring and bought Dogecoin.
Dogecoin?
I thought it was gonna moon. It did, honey. Then it crashed into the sea like your moral compass. Then came Kenny. Oh, sweet baby Jesus, Kenny. He paced, he sweated. All right, look, every second weekend I wasn't at Bible study like I told the kids. I was in Reno with Cheryl. Cheryl's not your cousin. She just pretends to be for the dental discount. A silence fell so heavy it thudded. I knew you weren't tithing, I said. Micah brought out a tray of brownies. I added walnuts this time. You said they help with memory. I kissed him on the forehead. You're the only one in this gene pool who knows how to swim. They all looked at me, shame mixed with dollar signs. And that's when I laid it down. You think this was about money? About property? No, this was about truth. Because when I go for real, and I mean for real, not this soft launch death, I want to know what kind of legacy I'm leaving. And right now, y'all are a lifetime movie about bad decisions and mediocre parenting. Martin raised a hand. Does that mean we're out? Oh, you're in, but you ain't getting what you expected. I stood up, slow and dramatic like an old stripper with a grudge. Walked to the picnic table where the real Will sat, fresh and notarized. I'm rewriting it, right here, right now. Micah got the house. Trina got my ceramic frogs, with a note that said, "May they watch you like I can't." Martin got my old recliner. Kenny got the Dogecoin wallet. It was empty, just like his promises. The rest donated to the local animal shelter because dogs never try to sell my blender behind my back. I looked at them proud and pissed. This ain't revenge, I said. This is accountability in sequins. Then I raised my martini to the sky like it was communion. To the truth, and to being alive enough to enjoy pissing you all off in person. Lucky farted again, on cue. Best wake I ever had. 7. Celebratory martini. It was sundown, porch lights flickering on. Mosquitoes biting anything that still had a conscience. The air was thick with shame, sweat, and just a little hope. The good kind, the kind that stings a little first. I watched them all scatter like roaches in church. Martin sat slumped on the porch steps, elbows on knees, mumbling something about character development. Trina chain-smoked my Virginia Slims like she was prepping for a prison transfer. Kenny had wandered out to the tool shed, probably trying to Google how to fake maturity. Micah brought me another drink, poured it slow, neat, like he was bartending grief. "You gonna haunt them when you're really gone?" he asked. I took a long sip. "Baby, I don't need to haunt them. I already live in their regrets." He grinned. "You know that ceramic dick's probably going on eBay, right?" "Good. Let it travel. That little bastard deserves a second life." We sat for a minute, just quiet, crickets, wind, Lucky dreaming about beef jerky. And then Micah, sweet, stoned, loyal to a fault, looked at me and said, "Granny, what if they don't change?" I didn't answer right away. Because the truth is, maybe they won't. Maybe they'll go back to their lives and their lies, reshuffle their guilt into something more palatable. Maybe Kenny will bullshit his way into another tax lien. Maybe Trino'll find some other dead relative to exploit. Maybe Martin will keep blaming the world for not being impressed with mediocrity wrapped in a tie. But maybe, just maybe, something stuck. Maybe the next time they see a will, they'll remember the one time it came with a side of humiliation and a cassette tape full of truth. I turned to Micah. "That's not my problem, baby. I got one more good chapter in me. After that, they can fight over my ashes." "Where you want me to scatter 'em?" I smiled. "Vegas, right in front of the Bellagio fountains. Make 'em dance for me one last time." He laughed, and I laughed too, the kind of laugh that's full-bodied and earned, like good whiskey or a bad secret. I raised my glass to the darkening sky. "To the dead, may we rest easy. To the living, may we never stop causing problems." And I took that final sip like I meant it. Martini warm, spirit cold, legacy secure. And then the damnedest thing happened. I'm not even fucking kidding you. Right there and then, the aneurysm they'd all given me popped, and I died. I actually fucking died. I was dead before the olive even rolled out of my shattering martini glass, but not before a gust of wind blew up my skirt, giving them all a big, bright white view of my old, wrinkled cottage cheese ass. God damn it, if that ain't the funniest thing I ever did. And I wasn't even there long enough to enjoy gloating about it. Granny, out!